Hello VC, what's going on? It's Will, and welcome to a new episode of Library Run, and I believe this is episode number 7 of my Library Run video series, and I haven't done one in a while, so just in case if you're not familiar with my Library Run videos, I'll put a link here in the description to my Library Run playlist, so you can check out some of my older videos about library pickups. But anyways, the idea is very simple. Every once in a while I go to my local library and I borrow some CDs, and usually it's stuff that I normally wouldn't pick up, or things that or albums that I haven't listened so far. My local libraries are usually pretty good. They usually have some really good classic albums as well as some more recent releases. So it's pretty cool to go to the library every once in a while to check out some new music or to listen to something that I would normally not listen to. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started with this fairly new release. This one just came out a couple of years ago. This is Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers with Hypnotic Eye. And like I said, this one came out in 2014 on Reprise Records. And there's the back. And fairly different kind of artwork for a Tom Petty album. Of course, with the classic Reprise record artwork for the CD itself. But the artwork is very different to what Petty usually comes up with. Kind of like a psychedelic looking artwork and pictures of the band. Very different to what he normally does. And I remember when this album came out a couple of years ago, I saw a lot of people had some criticism about the album, and there were some bad reviews, and I really don't know why, because this album is excellent. It's everything that you would expect from a new Petty album, or Petty and the Heartbreakers. Lots of great tunes here. I cannot say that there is a bad song in this album. The whole album is just excellent. Some great songs like American Dream, Plan B, Fault Lines. I really like The Forgotten Man and Saints of My Youth, as well as Power Drunk. All excellent Tom Petty songs. So check it out. I'm probably gonna try to find this either on or to buy it at least on CD or vinyl, because I was just very impressed with this album by Tom Petty. Let's go ahead and check out a short clip from one of the songs from Hypnotic Eye. This one's called Fault Lines. So yeah, that was a short clip from Tom Petty with a song called Fault Lines from Hypnotic Eye. Definitely a must-have for any kind of Tom Petty fans out there. Great album by Tom Petty. Alright, up next I also picked up a CD by Weezer. And this one's called Everything Will Be Alright in the End. And this one also came out in 2014 on Republic Records. And there's the back. And that's the CD itself with a kind of like film reel artwork. And the artwork itself of the booklet is pretty cool. It comes with this very long extension of the album cover. Very cool looking. And in the back you get kind of like the credits and some of the lyrics. So yeah, very impressive job as far as the artwork of this CD. The music and the album overall, not that good, honestly. I did listen to this album when they came out because I've been a Weezer fan for a long time, especially of their older albums. Their albums from the late 2000s, not that much. So of course this album came out back in 2014, and all the critics were saying that, or most of the critics were saying that it was pretty good. Everybody was saying, oh, Weezer comes back to their roots. So I did check it out online, and I just didn't get into it. There were a lot of songs that I didn't like, so I didn't end up buying the album. But when I saw the CD on the library, I decided, maybe I need to give it another shot. So I did pick it up. I borrowed it from the library, and I listened to it in the car a few times, and I just did not get into it. And my main problem with this album by Weezer is that it's just filled with very with just filler songs, some songs that I don't think deserve to be in a Weezer full-length album. They could have probably done an okay EP out of the songs from this album, but overall it's just too many filler songs in my opinion. They were trying to, I think, a little bit too hard in some of the songs, and I just cannot recommend this album. Everything Will Be Alright in the End by Weezer. I did like a couple of songs in the album, especially songs like Back to the Shack, even though it relies a little bit too much on that loud, quiet, loud kind of technique. And it sounds a little bit too much like Pork and Beans from the previous album, so it's good, but it just sounds a little bit too repetitive. And I did like the song Cleopatra out of this record, but that's pretty much it. The other songs I just didn't like at all, so I cannot recommend this Weezer album from 2014. Alright, up next, let's move on to something a little bit better, and one of the classics in my opinion. I picked up The Replacements with their very first album called Sorry Ma, Forgot to Take Out the Trash. And this one came out originally in 1981 on Twin Tone Records. This is the reissue that came out on CD a few years ago on Rhino Records. As you can see from the tracklist, they have the original tracklist of the album, as well as the extra tracks that came out on the reissue, with some demo versions of some of the songs and some outtakes as well, some B-sides. So very cool CD, a cool release by the Replacements. It did come with the artwork right there for the CD, and the booklet with some information about or some kind of write-up about the album, the first album by The Replacements. Some cool pictures. These guys look really young back then. Great pictures, and a very cool read about The Replacements. And as far as the music, I will admit that before I picked this one up in the library, even though I consider myself a fan of The Replacements, I had not listened to the full album before. And I know it sounds terrible because the Replacements is just a classic band, but I own most of the Replacements catalog, but I never owned this one. I never bought it. Of course, I listened to some of the songs, like some of the classic songs, like Taking a Ride, which is, in my opinion, one of the best songs by the Replacements. But I never listened to the full album, especially to the extended version of the album with the outtakes, which I thought they were really cool. And I guess I never really know that this album was so different compared to their other releases. This is a full-blown punk rock album. The Replacements definitely started like a full, almost leaning towards a hardcore punk band. And it sounds great. Of course, they were really great. Later on, I think they shifted their style a little bit to more of alternative rock. But this album is just full 100% punk rock. Definitely, if you're into punk, check out The Replacements' first album. It's great, really great album. Let's go ahead and check out actually a short clip from one of the songs from this album. This is the song that I just mentioned before. This one's Taking a Ride. Alright, then next I also picked up a CD by the punk band Against Me. This one's called Transgender Dysphoria Blues. And this one came out in 2014 on Total Tribal Records. There's the back with the track list and the CD itself. And a small booklet with some additional artwork. I think Against Me always has some kind of creepy looking artwork in the records, and the lyrics and the credits. And I've been wanting to pick up this record, or I've been wanting to buy it for a long time, actually, since it came out back in 2014. But for some reason I did it. Sometimes I don't find it on the record store, or when I find it, it's just too expensive. So I never ended up picking it up. But I've been wanting to buy it because I've listened to the whole thing before, and I knew that it was good. It's a great album by Against Me. A very personal album as well, obviously because of the title. This one was released just a few months after Laura Jane Grace announced that she was transgender, and obviously a very controversial topic, so it was very popular among the punk community. But as far as the music is, it's excellent. It's kind of hard to describe how much emotion she puts when she sings some of those songs, especially songs like True Trance, Soul Rebel, and what's it called? Two Coffins. Very, very personal album. Great lyrics, great vocals, great guitars, and also very catchy as well. Terrific album. I'm still trying to find this one. Someday I will find it at the record store. I'm definitely gonna pick it up because this is just a terrific rock and roll album. Let's go ahead and check out a short clip from one of the songs from the album. This one's called True Trance, Soul Rebel. Alright, so that was Against Me with a clip from their latest album, Transgender Dysphoria Blues. Make sure that you check them out if you're into punk rock, and also they're releasing a new album this year, and they're also touring, or they're gonna be touring in the next few months. I'm actually gonna go see them when they play with Bad Religion in the next few months, so that should be exciting. Yeah, check out Against Me with Transgender Dysphoria Blues. Great album. And last but not least, I also picked up a CD from the library from Metric, and this one's called Synthetica, and it came out in 2012 on Mom and Pop Records. And this one came in with the actual digipack of the CD attached to it, kind of like that. There's the digipack in the back with the track list. And what's cool is that the actual CD came in with this little booklet attached to it with the lyrics of the songs and some artwork. But what's interesting is that the actual lyrics came in with the words are actually reversed, or the text is actually the mirror image of the actual text, which I thought it was kind of interesting. First, I thought, oh, it's gonna be kind of hard to read, but then I found out that the CD actually came in with this kind of like a mirror paper inside that you can use to reflect the image of the text and actually be able to read it easily. So I thought that was kind of cool. Very interesting design of the artwork, and you also get some pictures of the band and the credits and some more artwork. So they did a great job with the actual packaging of the CD, and about the music, it's excellent. And Metric is a band that I've always known that they're good. I've listened to a lot of their albums either online or I listened to some of their songs in the radio, and I'm always impressed. I'm always saying, oh man, this band just kicks ass, and I have to buy some of their records. But for some reason I just never either find their records, so I just never actively look for them. So I was glad to find this one in the library. Of course I picked it up, and I was again very impressed. And the first thing that came to mind in my opinion is that this band is just so underrated. Even though they play them fairly often in the radio, this is a fairly popular band among the alternative rock community, but I still think that they're underrated. This album is just excellent. Again, this one's called Synthetica. Lots of great songs here. Youth, Without Youth, Speed the Collapse, Breathing Underwater, the first song, Artificial Nocturne. Great songs. There's not a bad song in this album. The best way to describe it is that they're kind of like indie pop or indie rock band mixed a little bit with the vocals from Goldfrapp, because her vocals sound, in my opinion, a lot like Goldfrapp, especially from their first album called Felt Mountain, I believe. Terrific album, lots of great tunes, indie rock mixed a little bit with some electronic influences as well. A fantastic album. Let's actually go ahead and check out a short clip from one of the songs from Synthetica. This one's called Breathing Underwater. So yeah, that's actually all I have to show you for today, VC, as far as my library pickups. I hope you like them. Let me know if you have any questions about any of those CDs. Also, I wanted to send a reminder that I have a contest going on right now. I'll also put a link here in the description, so you can go ahead and check out the description of that contest. I think I have about 3 people signed up or making entries so far. So make sure that you go ahead and check out and make an entry if you want to. Anyways, that's all I have for you today, VC. Thanks for watching and take care. Bye bye.